I love this story because, like, it once again shows that it's not a meritocracy. Meritocracy is a fucking lie, and that, like, the wealthiest among us are not necessarily the smartest.
Now to the newest flood of layoffs in the tech world. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, sent emails to 11,000 employees yesterday telling them they no longer have their jobs. Workers heard a personal apology from CEO Mark Zuckerberg on this video that was obtained by NBC News.
I want to say, up front, that I take full responsibility for...
Yeah, no shit, bro. It was your fucking dumbass decisions. It's funny because, like, in a lot of situations in a company, you can just, like, point the finger of blame at, like, many different reasons, right? Like, with Facebook and with Meta, it's, like, directly his fault. Like, Metaverse was so bad. At least he didn't actually put them in the Metaverse to fire them. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? He's like, all right, I want all 11,000 of you guys to put on your headsets right now. We're going into the Metaverse. And then he's like, you guys are fired.
For this decision.
Meta joins more than 30 other tech companies that have laid off employees this month alone. Carter Evans has more on the shockwaves that is hitting Silicon Valley's workforce.
I pulled up my phone, couldn't log into work chat, couldn't log into our internal.
It's almost like an entire industry based on speculation, propped up by a bunch of people who consider themselves to be angel investors who are just dumping millions of dollars of funds into unprofitable companies with the hope that that company will be quick enough to monopolize a certain marketplace by considering itself a disruptive new piece of technology, when all the disruption is just labor protections, is not necessarily a, it's just not a great endeavor. Not a lot of output out there that you could totally fucking use. Not a lot of output out there that's, like, legitimate.
Sites.
Eric Treby, stunned by an early morning email from Meta, struggled to break the surprise news to his pregnant wife.
I was, like, looking at my phone a little bit in shock, and she was like, did you get laid off?
Just 2 weeks.
They work for Amazon? Yeah, because Amazon actually literally does have a product. And it worked for Amazon because Amazon was able to monopolize. That's the difference. It's like Google's not having layoffs because they're already a monopoly. Do you get what I'm saying? That part of the component, that part of the conversation is the most important part. Google monopolized web search, no layoffs. Amazon monopolized e-commerce, no layoffs. Now, tech, on the other hand, they probably will, by the way. They probably will get some layoffs, to be fair. Because the way that the fucking tech part, the way that, like, the tech industry works is that they're just dumping a shitload of funds into all these different avenues. Okay? Like, they engage inside of their, country-sized economies that they've built. They also engage in a secondary speculative market where, like, on the one hand, you look at Silicon Valley, okay, and everyone wants the next unicorn, right? They're dumping a bunch of they're putting like 100K to $1 million here, $1 million there. Ultimately, one of those things is going to go to the fucking stock market. It's going to be the unicorn. It's going to go in a fucking IPO, and you're going to make out like a bandit, right? That props up every other fucking company in that space, and it also greatly inflates the stock value of every single company because the entire system hinges on confidence, and the entire system hinges on speculation. Now, internally, pre-existing unicorns that have already made it, like Google, which have monopolized successfully, or Amazon, which has monopolized successfully, will then have endeavors that they dump money into. Right? They do that too. Like, I would say Twitch is one of those examples. Let's be fucking real. Stadia is an example for Google or Alphabet, whatever you want to call it. Right? Should be noted that Facebook and Meta is still a wildly profitable company, just less profitable and lost 75% of stock value. Capitalism is dumb. Yes, it is. But a lot of the tech industry is, how do I describe it? There are people far smarter than myself who claim that the tech industry's role as a labor, like a labor protection disruptor, only was basically carved out or created so that like middle class and upper middle class people could have their own slaves for a little bit. And that was basically financed by this speculative economy. And now it's coming to a point where like, well, people want to make money off of it. A lot of these places did not monopolize fast enough. Or even if they were able to monopolize, they weren't able to fucking price gouge fast enough after monopolizing. So now, the chickens are coming home to roost for a lot of these companies. Yeah. It was so that the speculative financial market basically subsidized with what it seemed like endless amounts of money this opportunity for middle class and upper middle class people to have their own indentured servants. But that could only go so far. Right? What do you mean slaves, maids and butlers? Yeah, pretty much. Personal shoppers, people who deliver every little thing that you purchase. I mean, I use it every day. Uber Eats is a perfect example of this. It's a gig worker, not indentured servant or slave. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. That is the capitalist terminology for it. I apologize. It is unionless, benefitless, no protection having gig workers. Should I use that term correctly?
Weeks before Thanksgiving, the father and engineering manager finds himself part of a massive 13% reduction in Meta's workforce.
I believe the metaverse is the next chapter for the internet.
CEO
Nope.
Mark Zuckerberg bet big on the virtual reality metaverse last year.
I love this story because, like, it once again shows that it's not a meritocracy. Meritocracy is a fucking lie. And that, like, the wealthiest among us are not necessarily the smartest. And they're so fucking stupid that they can make a Second Life skin when there's no adequate technology to back that up yet and no interest on the ground. And also significantly better versions of the product that he's trying to recreate. It's awesome. It's literally fucking great. There is no better demonstration that billionaires are just fucking idiots than someone who like bet big, someone who felt the pressure of constant growth, and decided to, take a weird ass fucking bet on crypto and metaverse.
When tech companies were flush with cash while everyone was working from home during the pandemic.
These companies like Meta have had to undo a lot of that hiring to adjust to the new reality.
Fellow startup founder Roger Lee tracks tech layoffs and says the impact can be far-reaching.
50% of the layoffs in tech in the US have come from Silicon Valley, the San Francisco Bay Area. These tech layoffs, which of course will have ripple effects for the local economies.
Nearly 75,000 tech workers across the country have gotten the axe so far this year, and with borrowing costs rising and revenue falling, there is likely more to come.
So where tech goes, that's where the rest of the economy goes.
Employment consultant Jason Greer says the booming job market is starting to shift.
We're seeing a crunch on tech, but we're probably going to be having this conversation about multiple industries next week.
Yeah, the point is, you can fucking now unironically work at Starbucks. Like, hey, did you lose your fucking tech job? Here's a job at Starbucks for you. That's literally it. That's what's going on.
Next week.
If you're worried that your company is going to make job cuts, what should you be doing as an employee?
You have to protect yourself. You better get your butt back in the office. Let's be real. It's remote workers that are getting laid off first and everybody else second.
Eric Treby was a remote worker, and today he'll be back online looking for a new job.
What's done is done. I just kind of got to
That's crazy.
Got to provide for my family.
For CBS Mornings, Carter Evans, Los Angeles.
Holy shit. Companies fucking despise remote workers. Holy shit.